13 customers, only one's come before, and he's only come once. So these are all new people, and 13's a lot. So I'm going through the spreadsheet, like trying to figure out who's who and remember everyone's names. And because it's such a short trip, like we only had a couple days to do it, but I love taking new people down here. It's so much fun. Getting to know new people, getting to make new friends. Like that's for me what is the best part is all these friendships I've made. Like all the guys, everyone that helps do the trips, the people that we work with down here at the hotels and the restaurants, just all these great friends. It's what makes it so special for me.
I'm Kirsten Backus. I'm with Cobb Tuning out of Austin, Texas, and we are doing our first Baja Raptor run as a company, and also it's my first Baja Raptor run personally. I actually grew up with grandparents who had a place in Ensenada, and my dad raced Baja, and so I've seen tons of videos from that. I've seen the videos from the trips that Trey does and all the time that they spend getting to race on the beaches and jump off the cliffs. All of that in addition to the off-road piece, I think it's a pretty incredible opportunity.
My name's Nick. I'm from actually right outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. This is our first Baja Raptor run. I've watched all the videos. My wife makes fun of me because she says YouTube gets me in all kinds of stupid ideas. But I can't wait to go see, silt beds and all of the other jumps and running across the dry lake bed. Should be a blast. This is my 2023 Bronco Raptor stock vehicle. I think the only thing I did to it was the lights and the radios and stuff that Trey wants us to have for safety.
It's the second time here, and already I'm seeing different things than the first time. So yeah, never a disappointment. Anything we do with Trey is awesome. Looking forward, if this is day one, it can only get better. Coming back this time, we definitely wanted to bring a different platform. We brought the Bronco with us this time. It's far from stock. Done a lot of cool things to it. We're running the 74 well portals. Even though it looks like it's lifted, technically it's not lifted like normally would be. Lots of different things going on in this ride, and we're looking forward to seeing how it performs out here.
My name's Tim. I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada, and down here to experience what Texas Raptor Runs is doing down here. I've heard all the stories about it, so to be here in person, this is pretty sick, pretty dope. I used to be a Raptor owner, jumped out of a Raptor and got a TRX. I haven't looked back, but when this trip came up, the first thing I did was shot Trey a text message. Will you take a TRX? He said, we'll take one, and there's two of us here, so. Yeah, we got two TRXs here. They're gonna try to show up these Raptors and see what we can do, but no, man, it's all about what these trucks can do, and it's a tight-knit community what these trucks can do for off-roading stuff.
My name's Ian. I'm from Austin, Texas. My first time coming with Texas Raptor Run, Baja Raptor Run with Trey here. Always wanted to come. I've had my Raptor about 5 years now. It's always been on my to-do list. Finally pulled the trigger with one of these shorter runs here. Really excited to be here.
I'm Sam Furler. I'm from Houston, Texas, and this is the first time I've come on one of these Baja Raptor Run trips. It's sometimes a little hard to explain because people don't understand, but I was telling them oh yeah, we're going in and driving on some dirt, meeting some new people, going on a little adventure.
I've done the Texas Raptor Run, but this is just completely different. I originally started looking at the videos and then got the Raptor, reached out Trey, just been working on the vehicle and said, this is what I want to do. So this has been a great experience and able to bring my wife so she could enjoy it as well.
One of the best things about this place is the history and the culture in itself. You almost go back in time, and not just with the missions and the cave paintings, but just seeing how people live down here, and it's such a simpler life, and it really puts things in perspective. And that's one of my most favorite things about Baja, is just realizing how much simpler it could be if you wanted it to be.
Literally binge watch every video on YouTube from the Baja Raptor runs from every year up until now. As soon as I was done watching it, I had to sign up. Emailed Trey and I tried to sign up and he's like, oh, it's already sold out, but this one's still got spots. So I didn't waste any time. I pulled the trigger and then it was literally a countdown until the day we left. I couldn't wait, and so far it's not disappointing. We've had a great time.
Nobody cares where you come from or what you do. We're all here for a purpose, and that's to enjoy what Baja has to offer. We all knew that when we committed to this trip. This is about being here in the dirt, having a good time, enjoying the day as we're driving or stopping for lunch at amazing street tacos. We're here to enjoy what our trucks can do and what a Baja has to offer our trucks.
The number you have dialed is not available.
You don't have to be a pro driver to come down and do this. And honestly, anyone can come down. You just have to drive within your limits and learn the truck, learn what you can do with it. And as you build your skill, you go faster and you take corners quicker. But the trick is always just take it easy until you get there. And I hope I can help people do that, giving them some tips and advice on air pressure and how the Raptor works and Soak and Hudson and Chen, because they've done it a lot. But it takes a little experience to learn how to drive. But anyone can drive down here and have fun. It's just the more you do it, the better you get. I'm balling to pay me attention.
Doing the racing on the lake bed was something that my wife, she said, that's my favorite thing so far. Seeing the videos where I see the trucks going up and down, and I thought, wow, I'd like to do that. And being able to do that in a safe environment was a lot of fun. We did it multiple times and really had a good time doing it.
Almost like a controlled environment where you're on this dry lake bed. It's completely, totally flat, and get out there and just open that machine up and see what they're capable of doing as fast as they can get. It was awesome to do that and feel totally safe doing it.
One of my favorite parts was the dry lake bed. We lined up and we raced. I got to max out my truck at 117. I had no idea where it would stop, but I hit the pedal to the floor, and 117 is where it's at.
I think a lot of the misconception or perception of what the Baja experience is about is just coming down here and going fast. And while that can be part of it, I mean, really just getting down here and experiencing the culture, seeing the history of everything that Baja has to offer is really what it's about. So you don't necessarily have to have a Raptor. I mean, I'm in a Bronco. There's some guys in TRXs here. It's not always about the vehicle. Yeah, I mean, that does kind of make it fun. What you really need to be doing is paying attention to what you're driving through, because that's what this is really about, is getting down here and getting immersed in the experience of Baja.
If you watch the video and see the truck we're in, I think it's a complete proof that you don't need to have a bunch of crazy suspension. I mean, you can come out here in stock Raptor. I think a lot of people watch these videos and they just don't want to take that next step. Maybe they have a Raptor, maybe they just think, oh, I need to put lights, radios, which you do need to have that, but you don't need to have 10 feet of suspension and huge tires. I mean, you can just take the leap of faith and come down, and Trey's going to take care of you. Sam's truck's actually a 2010, so it's the first year model they ever made them. It's what the truck was built for, and we're down here using them.
On this run, we have 2 TRXs, 2 Broncos, and I believe the rest are all Raptors, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you drive. It's not intimidating once you're here. It's a great experience for all levels of driving skills.
We've got a lot of different vehicles. I'm pretty open on what comes on these trips as long as they're capable. You don't have to have a crazy built truck to come down here and have a good time. First time in a long time we actually have a sponsor on the trip, Cobb Tuning. I'm a big Cobb fan. I like working with companies and partnering with companies with parts I would actually want on my vehicle, and Cobb is one of those. Kirsten from Cobb and Serena from SDHQ came down in brand new Gen 3 with a bunch of parts they're testing out. I think they've got some unreleased wheels on the truck and some other neat stuff. Really happy to have them on board, and hope it shows other sponsors that this is a great trip to come on to showcase your products and, have a great time.
The real reason that we're out here is to meet up with our customers who already know and use Cobb Tuning products, and then also to see if we can't talk some other people into it along the way. We actually manufacture quite a few parts for the Raptor now, from intercoolers and exhausts, intakes, the tuners themselves. The wheels are brand new. So we're out here torture testing those and putting them through their paces. I walk a few guys down the dry lake bed, and after that, they popped up to ask us what we had done with the truck, and obviously to talk about the tune that's there. You know, that's just our shelf tune. That's how the tuners come, and we picked up a bunch of power, and the transmission controls are totally different. It gave us a couple of pretty serious wins out on the lake bed.
One of the most unexpected things about Baja, at least in my experience, is that how diverse the terrain is. Like, you'll be on the beach one minute, and then you'll be in a forest of cactus. You know, there's pine tree forest down here. There's beaches and mountains. I mean, it's all different. And today we're in a desert oasis, basically, you know? I mean, if you were to zoom out 30,000 feet, you would just see desert and this little green spot where San Ignacio is, and it's nothing but palm trees. So we're gonna cut across today and drive across the desert and through the mountains again and end up on the other side, and we'll be in a beautiful bay. One of the best things about Baja, I think everybody just assumes it's all dirt and desert here, and that couldn't be further from the truth.
TJ and I will be driving along, like when we're just in a pile of cactuses, and now we're in open brush, back to hard-packed desert, back to all of a sudden being in a little mountainous, a couple of hills and mountains. The terrain change and just the general beauty of the desert has been pretty cool to see.
It was definitely a lot of fun. It was got a little nervy. We didn't really know how well my truck was gonna handle all that stuff, and we were going through it, and we were just like, and it ended up not being bad, but yeah, it got a little dicey at points.
The landscape out here is pretty wild. In the morning we woke up, we were in San Felipe at the Sea of Cortez, and then now here we are having lunch at the Pacific Ocean on the complete other side, and everywhere in between you see cactus, you see hills, mountains. It's just crazy just what an hour drive will do out here.
It's a shame that so many people that own Ford Raptors are just driving them on the street to flex that they have a Raptor. They should absolutely get down here and test it out and drive that thing for what it's worth. The trucks are incredibly capable straight out of the factory, and to not experience what your truck can do is a shame.
Typically, we don't give a lot of information out, like hotels, and I don't say much about their route every day. So, people won't realize if they haven't been here before that an hour ago we were on the Sea of Cortez and we're fixing to pop over this dirt road hill and there's the Pacific. So we do that all day long. It's a lot of neat surprises for people as we come down the peninsula, and the scenery changes and the bodies of water changes, just all these different things, and it happens really quick, and it's really neat.
You always get that little bit of surprise on the trip, and I think that's important to this, is not knowing everything that's going to happen. Throughout the trip, you're bouncing back and forth from one side of the peninsula to the other, so it's not a cookie-cutter trip. It's always different.
This is truly an amazing event. Just the scenery change, the culture, people who you didn't know 3 days ago, now you know by first name. They come up and high-five you when we stop, oh man, did you see that run? That was crazy, and this and that. You start just creating these bonds. I already got 3 or 4 phone numbers of people to catch up with that are West Coast people that we can go riding with at a later date and time. I think that's what this was about.
Literally sit there and watch every video about Baja and the Baja Raptor run, but until you're here, you can't fully understand how beautiful it is. The food, the culture, how welcoming everybody is. You get to know everybody in your group. Overall, it's a great experience, and I think that if you're on the fence about coming out here and checking it out, just do it. That's the only thing I say. Just come out here and check it out for yourself.
It isn't just about trucks and driving fast. It's also, there's a lot of culture, a lot of things that, like I said, you go to a resort, you won't be able to do these same things. So it's really unique and an adventure kind of experience.
I love hearing from people that they bought a Raptor just because of these trips and wanting to come on the trip. And it happens all the time. People say, I bought a Raptor because I watched your videos. And it's really neat. Someone wanted to come out and do this trip so bad that they went and bought a truck to do it.
one guy just bought a truck 10 days ago and brought it down here still with the paper tags on it. He's never done this a day in his life, but he's having an absolute blast or whatever. So it's pretty cool to have a wide range of skill sets to do it, and obviously people have kind of found out, someone to be at the front, someone to be in the back, and someone to be in between, and everyone's having a blast doing what's comfortable for them, and that's what makes this trip pretty cool.
Trey made it pretty clear on day one that you drive what you can see, and we'll figure out who falls where. Some guys want to drive a little quicker, some guys take it a little easier, but everyone gets to move at their own pace. There's always someone following up in the rear to make sure nobody gets missed. Everyone gets to drive at their pace, which is great.
You certainly don't have to be a pro driver to be out here. I am not a pro driver. When Serena and I were last in an off-road truck together, I am the co-driver. So this has been, when I say it's been a learning experience for me, I truly mean that. I've got a little bit of off-road experience, but this is the most I've ever done it.
Anybody can come down here and have a good time. There's definitely no pressure from the crew or anyone else that is going to make anybody feel uncomfortable on this trip. So just about anybody can come along for the ride on one of these and have a great experience.
Never felt like we're going to get left behind or we had to drive a certain speed. It was just a really comfortable pace, and even though there's some technical areas in there, it was comfortable. Also showed just Trey takes that into account and makes sure everyone's comfortable, and also able to show my wife just what the Ford Raptor can do. So it's been a good time. It's not just a guy's trip, versus like the Texas Raptor run was more of I'd say a guy's trip kind of experience. But yeah, this would be definitely for families, for couples, and to go out and do this together.
It's happened before we've had kids, but it's pretty neat. We have 4 kids that are all about the same age. 2 are mine, and then Bubba from Exodus has his son, and then Juan brought his little boy. They're all about the same age. They've been really playing great together and going out in the desert and digging up rocks, trying not to get poked by cactus. And it's way better than being on an iPad sitting in the truck. So it's really awesome to have these kids here and show them Baja and how neat it is down here.
I'm really excited to have my son Ashton here because, like you said, it's a once-in-a-lifetime quality time together, spending the day driving the truck, getting the truck ready every day. Those are memories he's going to have to take with him for the rest of his life. And I hope it introduces him to different cultures and seeing what the world has to offer.
Serena and I have been out here having a great time. I think we're the only vehicle out here that doesn't have a guy in it. We've found that it turns out we are in fact just as capable, and it's been a learning experience for me with Serena as a co-driver. We've had a great time along the way.
I think nowadays, kids and grown-ups in general are just so addicted to the technology that it can be easy if you were down here to just drive through everything and not even notice if you brought it with you. So I think one of the main things that we've done is really made sure that our son is, he's not allowed on the iPads. He's not allowed to do anything, and then all of a sudden he's like amazed at what he's seeing. He's driving through, get out somewhere and all the different rocks. The kids are all digging in the rocks and playing in the dirt and, running up and down the beach, playing with crabs and sea urchins, and it's really good for them. And we've had such a great time, like just bonding, spending time in the vehicle all day together. It's not as bad as what you may think. I mean, it doesn't take long at all. They really fall into it and start enjoying themselves and all the different experiences they get here.
We are in Guerrero Negro at Laguna Ojo de Liebre. The whales that come into the lagoon usually arrive in December and leave about April every year. They take on a migration that takes about 3 months all the way up to feeding grounds in Alaska, and then travel again back to the lagoon either to reproduce or to calf.
We're gonna go see the whales, just see the gray whales, pet the gray whales, touch the gray whales, watch the gray whales, get wet.
I've never gone and done the whale watching before, but it should be fun.
I've seen some humpbacks down in Cabo, but not this close and not in this small of a boat. So it should be an experience.
Last count was around 600 in the whole lagoon.
Holy crap. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And that's because there's 3 lagoons, right?
Oh, in this lagoon.
Yeah,
but
right.
yeah,
So
there are 3, but 600 just in this one. Yeah. the first group of 12 people ready for
12 people?
their boat. And the idea is to go out there and see if we can find a couple friendly ones to interact with.
The whales is a given. Getting out there and being able to pet a gray whale is pretty, top 10 life experiences, right? My son Maverick, he's 7 years old, and I mean, that's a once in a lifetime experience to be that up close and personal with such an amazing creature in the water, out in the wild, and he couldn't get enough of it. He was jumping from one side to the boat. Great company with us in the boat, some of the other attendants on the run. Everybody was always there lending a hand, grabbing his life jacket or something, make sure he didn't go in too far.
Whales is a neat experience, and it's probably not what people would expect, even if they've seen the videos, because like you get there and they load you in the back of a pickup and they back the pickup in the water and you get into the ponga like that way, and it's very Baja, like how you get in and get this all started. And you go out there in this ponga that's like 20 foot long, and these 30 plus foot whales come up to the boat and shove it and bump it. And there's some gentler ones that like to get scratches. In our boat we had a couple aggressive ones, and like they spun us around and shoved the boat all over the place. The boat captain wasn't nervous, but I think we all were a little nervous.
When that whale comes up and spends 5 minutes on the boat pushing us around, I mean, I didn't reach out and touch him, but I mean, he was just to see that gigantic, magnificent creature right up beside you, and just you'll probably never see another human in her life. That was pretty exhilarating.
A bunch of whales that kept rocking the boats. There was some that we could touch and some that we couldn't.
They're coming from Alaska, and they stay here for 3 months, and then they go to Alaska, and then they come back. Some are really friendly, like they bump the boats, but some are not very playful.
The video is like, that's the hook, right? Like just set people in and get them to come themselves. And the whole thing's an experience. Like sometimes the hotels aren't as nice as they would be in the United States. Like you may or may not have hot water. Like you may have a blanket. You may need to bring your own. But it's part of the experience and the history, like rice and beans. Like, yeah, the rooms are just kind of rustic, but like it's a cool place. There's all this desert racing history. The whole place is covered in stickers. Like there's just a lot of neat things that the past of Baja, like and why Baja is so special to me, and where it's going. Like you can see all the history that makes Baja such a special place.
I can never say too much about Baja Raptor runs, the different runs that they put together, whether it's here or even in Texas. I mean, they do just such a great job, not overdoing it, not making you feel like you're a tourist, like making you just really comfortable and fit and fall into everything that's here.
It really is a whole experience, right? So we got to check out the cave paintings today, the whale watching adventure. We got to kind of do a more holistic Baja experience. I mean, if you want to come down and beat on a truck, anybody can do that. But to come down with Baja Raptor runs and get the full experience and have a real guide has been amazing.
The experience from start to finish, driving, the communication on the radios, seeing all the trucks lined up, you can't describe it, you can't put words to it, it's just you have to experience it.
I've been wanting to do this trip for about 6 years now. The timing just never worked out. So now that I'm actually here, the videos does not do it justice. The words can't explain it. Words aren't enough to explain it. You got to come down here and do this for yourself to really embrace and see what's going on.
Very nice to have all the people with all the experience, like Trey and Chin and all the other drivers that know what they're doing. They have like stories too, so it's not just the driving.
The coolest things is not all about off-road. It's kind of to know Baja and Mexico in general. I think a lot of people have this mindset that it's dangerous out here. I challenge you to come out here and see for yourself. It's beautiful. That's the only thing I can say. It's beautiful out here.
Don't ever hesitate to sign up for one of these trips, and you will not be disappointed. In fact, before you even go on that trip, you better start saving for the second one, because you're going to be throwing down deposit on it before you even leave here.